What's happening, Pandettes? Peter von Panda. I want to show you my diesel watch here and to give you some thoughts now that I've had it for a little while. First of all, this is the diesel DZ7258. It is a very big watch. It's the gunmetal watch, obviously, a gunmetal color with the leather strap. This is a big watch, and if you're familiar with the Diesel designer brand, they kind of make some big, bold watches. Most of them are really, really huge, but they do go down in size to, in the 40 plus millimeter range. But this one is a 52. It's not the biggest of this style that they make, but for my wrist, it was about this is the biggest watch I own, and it's about the biggest watch that will look even remotely normal on my wrist. So it's 7.5 inches. This 52 is just about as big as I can imagine myself ever going. The other thing that I'll tell you is that when you wear this, it is much bigger than most watches, and people will absolutely call you out on it. They will be like, "Holy cow, that is a big watch!" And it does stand out not only because of the diameter of the case, 52 millimeters, but also because of the thickness of the case, which I'm not exactly sure how big it is, but it's probably a centimeter. So, and it's just a very cylindrical. There's no taper or kind of any design elements to hide the thickness, so it just looks big and massive, and it is pretty heavy, so keep that in mind. One of the things that I want to show you here is this is a gunmetal finish. It's gunmetal finish all the way around, the dial, the sub-dials, even the hands. And even though there is a little bit, you can see the hands are a little darker here, and the dial over here is a little darker, and obviously the font is printed a little darker. In good light, it's pretty easy to read, but in anything that is kind of lower than normal or in dark light, this thing is absolutely impossible to read. So you may think the little light gray areas on the watch hands are luminescent, but they aren't. There's nothing on this that luminesces, and so it it can be very, very difficult in low light. So keep that in mind. It has 2 quartz movements, I believe. So these controls all control this main watch face here. This is kind of the time you'll use for your own time zone. And then this is interesting because it's a dual time, and so you've got time 2 here, and it's got this 12-hour wheel that has hours and the 30-minute markers printed on it, and so this wheel keeps turning, and so this arrow tells you what that second time. So like a lot of other dual time watches, kind of like the Urcraft dual timer and whatnot, it's kind of nice if you want to keep track of 2 different time zones, and then this one is controlled by this crown is over here, and obviously it doesn't have any subdials, so no pushers. The mineral crystal is kind of interesting because it's actually round, but it's cut here to fit in between these lugs, and so that's a little bit unique. I know the Quorum watches have some design other than round for their crystals, but that's pretty unique on a watch in this price point. And then what I thought was nice is kind of the details here. The lugs on the face of the watch are all built so that they are perpendicular to the ring on the crown, so they all kind of face the same direction inwards, and so that's pretty nice too. Just little details that make it feel like it's engineered with some purpose. It has this kind of diamond pattern on the sides, which is nice. It breaks up it visually a little bit, and it also has a similar but a larger diamond pattern cut into the face of the watch as well, which also helps kind of break up that the look, and visually. It says only the Brave here, and it has the model number there, and I would say this watch really is only for the Brave. It is such a bold looking watch, and it's so big, it's so obvious that you're wearing kind of a pretty blingy, although arguably understated watch, that you will want to have a pair underneath it that makes that justifies wearing something this bold. And then on the back, it's got only the Brave, and that's an Indian Brave, I believe, so a little punny there. But kind of a big flat back, and this looks like it's a sandblasted etching into the back case. So kind of nice. The other thing I'll throw out here is that the lugs do curve down a little bit, so that's kind of nice. It'll hug your wrist a little bit better. Not like some of the Robosis that has the lugs that go straight out from the side. And then this watch band is actually kind of an underappreciated part of this watch. The watch band itself is not. Let me focus on that watch band here for you. Is not very thick. So unlike a lot of the watch bands that are vegetable tanned or kind of that vintage style, this is not as thick as those. And that dark burgundy color, it's almost kind of a purplish, really, but it's really kind of like a dark brown, is actually really nice. It kind of reminds me of the old World War II bomber jacket type of leathers. So it's actually quite soft and has these it's these screws that are kind of like what do you call them? Grommets, I can't think of the word, so you'll have to pardon me. And then kind of the standard diesel clasp over here. But a very cool watch. This watch retails for $300. You can find them online for anywhere from $200 to $300. But a really cool watch if you want to stand out. So check it out. It's a diesel DZ7258. A really beautiful watch from a designer brand that you can add to your collection for not a lot of money. On Panda out.